Go ahead and begin.
Can you relate to this? While you talk on a phone, you text someone else, you do your homework, or you read your article. If you think you just cannot focus on one thing at a time, that means you're addicted to multitasking. A lot of people multitask because they think it helps them get the work done faster, but everything has two sides. By performing multitasking, it can cause you to easily make mistakes and you might have to go back and fix it. Aren't you tired of this? This is why you should try monotasking. Monotasking or single tasking, it is dedicating oneself to a given task and trying to minimize the potential interruptions until the task is completed or until the time is up. When we perform monotasking, it requires a lot of discipline. Mike from Pick a Direction website, his website is mainly about personal journey and his business life. He says that he has to practice discipline to not check email or Facebook until his daily post is published. And he also says that it's hard to focus on one thing, but by performing monotasking, it'll help with your disciplinary. Now, the opposite side of monotasking is multitasking. As we all know, multitasking is a practice of doing more than one thing at a time. I know many of you guys like to multitasking, but have you ever faced a problem when you attempt to multitasking? You usually end up with making mistake and you might have to go back and fix it. And this is why you need to stop multitasking and start monotasking. Too much multitasking can be hard for you. Earl Miller, a professor of neuroscience from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, explains that our brains are not designed for multitasking. We think that they are handling so many things, but what they are doing actually is just switching between them. Frequently switching between tasks overloads the brain and makes us become less efficient. For example, when you're studying, then your friend texts you, and then you decide to switch tasks from studying to texting. The result, you might not be able to understand the lesson that you were learning as much as those who decide to just put the phone away. The research from Stanford University also explained that multitaskers couldn't help thinking about what they're not doing, and they're always drawing information in front of them, and they cannot separate things in their mind. For these reasons, the research from Duke University states that monotasking approaches to time management encourage short and concrete tasks that are the sole focus of your attention for a block of time. Nonetheless, some people find that it's hard to finish work in sequence than to jump around from one to another. Some people say it is a waste of time to just finish work in order, but by having this in mind, that the studies from the book called The Myth of Multitasking says that only 2% of multitaskers can multitask effectively, but by performing one thing at a time, one more thing at a time, it can cost you to 40% drop in productivity. Now, to answer the question, why should we not multitasking? I would say multitasking can be the best option for some situations, and these tend to be something like completely physical and require just a set amount of time. For example, like childcare, house chores, or riding a bus or train to school. One great way to make the most out of these activities is to add something extra, and you can add something like audios, tapes, reading a book while you're riding a bus or a train to school. So that way you can have time to learn something else that you wouldn't have time for. But there are plenty of times that monotasking is the best option. For example, writing an essay, a report, or doing research online. In each of these cases, attempting to multitasking can only delay your work, and the result, you might not be able to do such a good job on it. For this reason, we should start monotasking now. Now, look at your handout. You can multitask by simply following these easy steps. Switching off distractions, set a timer, minimizing interruptions, and take regular breaks. I know it's not easy to stay focused, especially in the information age where there are many things and mental clutter going on. But the more you practice, the easier it will become to monotask. Monotasking is the most effective when you're working toward your goals. For example, studying for finals, doing your schoolwork or any work. So if you're in need of great work, then get rid of distractions, stay focused, and start monotasking.
Thank you very much. Let's give everyone a applause. Not a problem. Everybody seems to do that. That's not a problem. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now that Peck is through with her speech, I'd like to have some question and answer time. So if you have any questions, go ahead and raise your hand and wait patiently to be called upon.
Is it better to monotask and then take breaks while you're doing just?
Yes, because a lot of people cannot focus for a long period of time, so it's better to just take a break. Jose?
Okay, I didn't know this, but if multitasking would be considered doing two things at once, right?
More than one thing.
More than one thing, so it can be 3 or 4?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Do you multi or monotask more?
Monotask.
Any other questions?
Can we ask more than one?
Yeah, you can ask more than one.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, I have another question. Can I ask?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't you think that multitasking may also be able to help your brain, training it to do more than one thing? Multitasking.
Well, no, because it overloads your brain and makes you become less efficient. You might think that, but in reality, it's not helping your brain.
Anything else? All right, then let's give her a round of applause. Thank you very much, Pat.